Apple released their Vision Pro, and it's been going crazy. And of course, we talk about Apple stock all the time, but
they're tired of us talking about it, Rashad.
This will be a first. This will be a first where we can actually do a product review of sorts. So we have the product. We have the product.
Gotta have the product.
Okay.
Let's give it a go.
Let's get the product going. Let's get it going.
You got to walk us through this situation while you're doing this.
All right. So obviously we here in almost like a virtual land in a sense, right? These are the Apple Vision Pro. Very light on the eyes, very light on the head, pause. But what you can't see is that this adjustable strap, which I think was pretty creative. They have this kind of turn wheel that actually can tighten and loosen the strap. So I'm tightening it right now. Y'all can't see that. That in front of me, I'm just looking at the room. So right now I can see everybody here. I can see Shadi sitting next to me here. I see Ian's looking at me. And I'm just gonna put my passcode in real quick. And this is one of the things that my kids were struggling with earlier this week when we were playing around with it. It's that mind trick that, yes, we're so used to using our hands and, touching things to make things work for us. This is a mindset shift where you actually are using your eyes to change your environment, right? And so imagine just looking at something and now having the hand-eye coordination to say, that's what I want. And so my eyes are looking at numbers, and then you have to pinch, right? So it's just simply, and I'm going to move my hands so you guys can see it, but most times you could just keep your hands close to you. So I'm pinching numbers, I'm putting my code in, and then it opens up perfectly. All right. And so again, once you open the screen, you're looking at your environment. And so you see people walking around the streets and you see them on the train and you're like, I wonder if they can see me. Yes, I can see the entire environment until I click the top button. And now it looks like my iPhone, right? I have apps. I can scroll across. I'm looking at more apps, right? They also have Apple TV, which can take you into a whole library of movies. But I think one of the most impressive things, and I had to call Shadi when I saw it, was this immersive component of the Apple Vision Pro. Inside of it, you're completely in a different world. And so you're looking at the environment that you're in. I went into the studio, and if you have the Vision Pro, you can understand what I'm talking about. I went into the studio with Alicia Keys. I know we were talking about her earlier, but this is one of the most innovative things I've ever seen, where you're actually in the studio watching her perform her records, actually doing like rehearsals for a concert. And when you look around the environment, you can see the engineers, you can see the drummers, you can see the guitarists, you can see the vocalists, and you can see her. And you're in the studio watching people take notes and watching her go about it. In my mind, I said, this is going to change the way people are going to view concerts going forward. This is it, right? We always thought about sporting events, like sit in front row, that's immersive. But imagine being in front row of any live event possible and being in your living room and being completely immersive. It's a game changer. That was the first thing I did. The next thing I did was, okay, let me see what this looks like when I go on the internet. Now, we talked about it last week when we said Netflix doesn't have an app yet and YouTube doesn't have an app yet. And I was like, that kind of sucks. But you can go on the internet, you can use Safari and go on YouTube, so you can watch that. Inside of it, there are a few apps. ESPN has an app. Disney Plus has an app. And people are like, well, why does Netflix have an app? Why does Netflix not have an app and Disney does have an app? Well, we were reporting early on when the Vision Pro was announced, who were the first streamers that they announced would be a partnership? It was Disney Plus. And so I'm sure somewhere in the contract, they were saying to themselves, Disney Plus has to have at least the first 90 days on the Vision Pro. Got you. Okay. Of the other streamers. So it makes sense why Disney Plus is there. But Disney has immersive things as well. I'm sure within the 90 to 120 days, Netflix will be on there and people will be able to stream and watch anything they want. So this is, imagine a computer on your face, right? But in a sense that it's like I control everything from a virtual standpoint. So it's almost like virtual computing. Here's the coolest thing though. As you're watching one program, you're allowed to now open other screens. And so in a computer, we have tabs. But on the Vision Pro, your tabs become like huge TV screens. And so the next thing I'm thinking to myself is like, yo, if I have a 56-inch TV screen, but I can make my Vision Pro up to 17 to 18 feet wide, what happens to TVs of the future, right? So I literally was watching SZA's concert on Saturday night, 17. It took up my entire living room wall. On my right side, I had the Warriors playing the Suns, and I'm watching that in about a 10-foot TV space. And then I was watching CNBC. I was reading some articles about HubSpot and Cloudflare, and we'll talk about that later on my left side. And so now I have this dimensional space where I'm watching 3 things that are happening at the same time. I put down the Vision Pro and I said to myself, this potentially could be the greatest invention in the history of technology.
Wow.
I'm putting it up there with the original computers, the iPhone, and I'm putting Vision Pro. And the reason I'm saying that is because this is the first iteration of it. Will it get smarter? Will it get more sleek? Yes. A couple of the downfalls, it doesn't really have a power on or off button, or not one that I discovered yet. And so you kind of have to actually unplug this battery pack from you, which is another one of the drawbacks, right? In order to use this, you have to carry this battery pack around. Now, I bought 2 battery packs, so I have about 5 hours of battery time just in case it runs out. So why is it a drawback? Well, if I'm watching a movie, most movies are over 2 hours, right? And so if I have a movie, this is going to die on me. And so I thought buying the extra battery pack was dope. Another thing is that getting used to having visual stimulation be the reason why things move. And so my wife she was struggling all weekend trying to put the passcode in. Her eyes wouldn't move because my eyes have been set to the Vision Pro. But anytime a guest puts it on, it gets recalibrated. So this is, again, it blew me away. I'm gonna let him watch a couple of the immersive things so he can see it for himself. But yes, the price point is high. I get that, which is why I said future iterations of it, right? Because the price point will come down. It'll get sleeker. They'll figure out this battery thing. This is the wave of the future. Last thing. I went into education lab. I'm like, well, how would teachers use this? How could this look in a classroom? So I went into this solar system app, and literally you're outer space. And as you look around, you can see the entire solar system. But they have something unique where you can change the scales. And so you can change the rotation of each planet to mimic a day, 7 days, 1 month, a year. And you can watch all the planets rotating around the sun, and you can literally move yourself up to each one and look at the dimensions of it. I'm thinking to myself, imagine what they can do from a history standpoint, what they can do from a history standpoint. Like, how does education look if these things become sleeker and they become more uniform for that realm of society? We already know what it's going to do in the live space. I'm telling you, it's going to change the game forever, but it also can change education, man. I think they've nailed it with this. The price point is too high, so I'm interested to see what the next iterations look like. One of the greatest adventures I've ever seen.
So that was definitely, great breakdown.
Great breakdown
experience for sure. And I've been saying for a long time, I thought that this was going to be the future of sports, because it's like,
I look crazy like this.
No, you look cool. I look like something from Aspen.
I keep on all white.
Yeah. I felt like this was always going to be the future of sports, because I just feel like why pay $30,000 to sit courtside when you could pay whatever this thing costs, a couple $1,000, and then maybe $100 to actually feel like you're courtside, right? Now you actually can feel like LeBron is like right next to you, right? And then you can actually talk trash to Kyrie in real time and stuff like that. And it's like the live action events is something that is amazing. Then musical aspect as well, concerts, to be able to see your favorite musician perform, and you're like
work on their album. That'd be pretty cool.
I'm telling you,
like if Kanye would have made like a monthly membership on Yeezy to see him build vultures, that would have been fire.
And you're in the studio. It's so crazy. Like I was watching as the engineer was fixing the guitarist. I think he was out of chord, and he came in while she was performing it, and he fixed it live. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm trying to figure out where the camera's even placed to get some of these angles. It's that immersive.
Wow. Better than the Oculus?
Oh, by far. And I didn't do any gaming yet, so I know that's an aspect of it. I haven't done any gaming. I've done live sports. I did a concert. Like I said, I was reading, and I did some of the immersive experiences that Apple has put out. And I'm sure that's going to be the new wave of their content, right? It went from, yes, we have movies. Yes, we're doing 4K. The next iteration, 3D, the next iteration will be immersive, where everything you're in the environment. And so that's the last thing I'll say about this. There's this woman who does a tightrope over a mountain range, right? And you're watching her do it. But when you look down, you're seeing what she's seeing, right? And so you're looking at the fall. You're looking around and you're saying, wait, she's about 3,000 feet in the air, right? You're like, wow, this is crazy. You can see the freckles on her face. I haven't experienced anything like it before.
How hard is it to actually learn how to use?
I think once you get an understanding or a grasp of moving your eyes to the environment, I think it becomes very easy. And so, like, my son who's 10, easy for him. My daughter, she's 12. I mean, I had to take it out of her room to bring it down here. My wife, she was struggling with it a little bit and got a little bit frustrated. So I understand people in the original starting of it, it can be a little frustrating. But once you get used to, hey, move your eyes, don't move your head as much. You don't have to move your arms, just use your fingers, right? It's very fine-tuned in that manner. It becomes very simple. And you try to pause me, Ian, I saw that.
That's something to tell somebody on Wednesday.
Yeah, I can still see your body. You try to pause me.
Man. Yeah, baby, don't use your eyes. So you can use your eyes. Go ahead. To all the fellas, if you don't got a date on Wednesday, get you a Vision Pro. I'm sure Brittany Renner or somebody got an app.
Hey, that's a whole
on the trunk.
That's a whole nother immersive experience.
Oh, another. Hey.
So yeah, gaming, that'll be big for gaming also. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sam Altman said that it's the second most impressive invention that Apple has ever came out with, second to the iPhone.
I can believe. I haven't tried it yet, but I can believe that. They've needed innovation for a long time. Going back to that Zuckerberg versus Tim Cook battle, I think they are taking this metaverse play away from them.
Well, he actually said the second most impressive technology.
He had it at number 2.
Yeah,
to the iPhone.
I can agree.
Damn, I had it at 3. So I'm right there.
What was the second one?
I had computer, right? First. Computer, right? Yeah. The internet. Well, if we put internet computer together, that's 1. iPhone, and I'm gonna put this at number 3.
Yeah, and this gives them some life. I can't wait till they see what they do over the next year.
Yeah.
But the gaming part, like you said, is going to be huge. The Disney content. Now, if like Moana 2 was immersive and Spider-Man and all that, like if that becomes immersive,
can you imagine what Avatar's going to look like in an immersive environment?
That's crazy.
Right. And I didn't even get into taking the pictures yet because they're not pictures, they're live moments. All I have to do is look, and now I'm taking a live recording of what's happening in front of me. In addition to FaceTime, which is now a virtual space, they actually choreograph your face based on everything when you look into the sensors. And now when I call FaceTime, it'll be like an I would say an AR version of me talking to you. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy.
Rashad, you gonna get one?
It's gonna be. I got
for sure.
The tutorial.
I gotta wait.
We gotta pull up an All-Star and get it.
I gotta wait for the third version. You know, I gotta wait for the Cartier glasses version.
You can't walk around with this.
That's what because the first cell phone was like a brick, right? Mm-hmm. And then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and more efficient. So that's what's gonna happen. Like 5 years from now, this thing is gonna be like contact lenses, really. Yeah, but the glasses definitely gonna be like, down the line, it's gonna get smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah.
Home run. It's a home run. Home run.
And Apple sponsored the Super Bowl.
50 million.
Great return on investment.
Yeah.
How many people watched?
I don't have the number yet, but I know Apple paid 50 million for the halftime show. It was interesting because when you looked at the CEOs that were in attendance, you had Elon there, and then you had Tim Cook. But I thought it was dope that he was there, but he was showing the Vision Pro to the celebrities who had come to Super Bowl.
Smart.
So I saw Shannon Sharp and I saw Ocho using the Vision Pro for the first time, and they had the same exact experience I had when I first saw it. I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything like this. This is different. That's dope.
Yeah. A good book is it was an essay by Sarah Blakely of Spanx. She has an article about doing things that don't scale. So she used to walk into like Bloomingdale's and Nordstrom and sell every manager on the product. To see Tim Cook still be active and doing that at the world biggest business conference is amazing. And then as a result, you'll see a lot more influencers start to talk about it and use it. So I think that's a good business lesson. No matter how big you get, you still need to approach people and show them your product and how it works to be able to get even more market share. So kudos to Timmy Cook. And Apple, I know y'all tired of me talking about Apple, but if I made you money, please put yes in chat. It work. It is working.
No, it's working.
So, all right. Well, we'll monitor.
Cartier, Rashad need a metaverse. Like, I mean, he need a Apple Vision Cartier play.
Please.
Him and Matty J.
They got to put the chips in the
please.
frame. That might mess up the frame,
Please.
though.
Huh?
They got to put the chips
Don't
inside
matter.
the frame.
No, it won't mess it up. It'll be invisible. You got to put the invisible because it's going to be tinted anyway. So
I'm talking about the actual frame. Like, where you going to put the computer aspect of it?
well, what
Because
is
when Ray-Ban did it, the frame is a little bit thicker. So
Yeah, for the chips to go in. Yeah.
they'll figure it out.